Hello children. Today we are going to do the poem The Shed, and it's composed by Frank Flynn. This poem is about a child who is very much scared and frightened to look or to go inside the shed which is located in his garden or somewhere in his backyard. This poem has 4 stanzas. So let's get started. Stanza 1. There's a shed at the bottom of our garden with a spider's web hanging across the door. The hinges are rusty and creak in the wind. When I'm in bed, I lie and I listen. I'll open that door one day. So, in the opening line, the child is describing the shed which is located in his garden. And he says that it looks very scary. It's very frightening, just like a house shown in some horror movies. Because the door of this shed is completely covered by the spider's web. That's why he says with a spider's web hanging across the door. Means this door has not been opened for many days or for many months, maybe years. The hinges are rusty and creak in the wind. Yeah, whenever the wind blows, this door makes a creaking noises because the hinges of this door is rusty. They are full of rust because this door has not been opened for a long period of time. When I'm in bed, I lie and I listen. So he says, like whenever I go to bed to sleep at night when it's very quiet and I could hear the only noise of wind, I hear the creaking of that door. But in the last line he says, I'll open that door one day. Yeah, if you see the the beginning lines, these 4 lines, you see this child is very scared to look at the shed or hearing some kind of noises coming out from that noise of the creaking of the door. But in the last line he said, no, I'm very strong, I'm bold, yes, I'm not scared, so I'll open that door one day, not today but some other day. I will definitely try. Okay. Stanza 2. There's a dusty old window round at the side with 3 cracked panes of glass. I often think there's someone staring at me each time that I pass. I'll peep through that window one day. So now he is describing the window of the shed, and he says, when I look at the shed, I find the old windows are dusty. They are very dirty, full of dust. Why? Because no one has cleaned it for the long period of time. It's all dusty. Nobody goes there. With 3 cracked panes of glass. And he says means the 3 panes of glass are also broken off that window. He says, I often think there's someone staring at me. Means whenever I look into that dark shed through that cracked panes of glass, I always find like someone is looking at me from inside the shed. Each time that I pass, whenever I go nearby the shed or when I cross my way to the shed, I always find that someone is looking at me from that window. In the last line, he says, I'll peep through that window one day. Again, you see that the previous 4 lines, he's scared to look at the window. He's scared that somebody is looking at him, staring at him. So he was very much frightened. But again, the last line, he becomes very, very bold and he said, no, I'm not scared of this thing. I am not frightened to look inside the window. There will be a day I will definitely look inside it. So I'm a very bold and I'm very strong child. Stanza 3. My brother says there's a ghost in the shed who hides under the rotten floorboards. And if I ever dare to set foot inside, he'll jump out and chop off my head. But I'll take a peek one day. So in this stanza, he's talking about his brother, his elder brother. And he says that my brother says there's a ghost inside the shed. Okay, a kind of um, a warning given by his elder brother that don't ever try to step inside it because there is a ghost living in the shed. Okay, and that ghost is hiding under the rotten floorboards. So a kind of frightening scene is here that elder brother is trying to scare the frightened. No. Stanza 4. I know that there isn't really a ghost. My brother tells lies to keep the shed for his den. There isn't anyone staring or making strange noises, and the spider has been gone from his web since I don't know when. I'll go into that shed one day soon, but not just yet. So in the closing lines, the child says that I know that there is no ghost living inside the shed, and I know because my mama tells me that ghost does not exist. My brother tells lies about the ghost because I know that he hides all his secrets there and he does not want me to go inside and know everything about it. So I should not go and tell mama about all the secrets my brother is hiding there. There isn't anyone staring or making strange noises. I know that no one is looking at me from those broken windows, and there is no one who is making the frightening and scary noises from inside. The spider has been gone from his web. I know this, that the spider is no more living there because it's been very, very long since the spider has left its web. In the last two lines, again, if you see, he becomes courageous and says, I'll go into that shed one day soon. Yeah, there will be a day I will definitely step inside it and see the reality of that shed, but not just yet. So see the innocence here. He said, no, 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 not now. You're taking me wrong. I'm not saying that I'm just getting inside the shade right now. No, not this time. Okay, there will be a day, and I don't know when, but I'm sure to get inside the shade. And that's all from my side. Okay, so that was all about the shed. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you like it. Thank you. Hello children. After finishing the poem, let us do some figures of speech. Figures of speech is also known as literary devices. Some of the prominent literary devices used in this poem are imagery. Imagery is a kind of a figurative language in which the words create a kind of a visual, means it compels you to imagine something. You have a picture of those words in your mind. Imagery is divided into 5 categories. Visual imagery, in that you just visualize the scene or the picture. Auditory imagery means the words which compels you to have some kind of sound. You are hearing some kind of a sound. Olfactory imagery, it makes you smell something. Gustatory imagery is you feel some taste. And tactile imagery is like you have a sense of a touch. Next is epithet. Epithet is a kind of an adjective to describe some person or something or some place. Just like you can say Uh, an old house. So what kind of house is that? Old house. A huge tree. What kind of tree is that? A huge tree is huge. Okay. The next is alliteration. Alliteration is a kind of repetition of the consonant sounds in the same line and which gives you the same sound, the repetitive same sound. As an example, you see go gather the green leaves on the grass. So here you see the go, gather, green, and grass. They are giving you the same sound of g. In English we say go, go, gather, green, grass. Okay, so let's see what kind of figures of speech are used in those four stanzas. So the first thing we find out from the stanza 1 is rhyming words and rhyme scheme. You see this last word of the first line is garden. The last word of the second line is door. The last word of the third line is wind. The last line of the fourth word is listen. And the last word is day. So garden is not matching with door, wind, listen. Yes, it's matching garden, listen. It means this is called the rhyming words. So the rhyming words are garden and listen. Then what is the rhyme scheme used here? If we name the first line, the last word, garden, A, then door. Door is not matching with garden, so we'll name it B. Then wind. Wind is not matching with either garden or door, so we'll name it C. Then listen. Listen is matching with garden, so we'll name it A. And then the last word of the last line is day. Day is also not matching any one of them. Garden, door, wind, listen, none of them. So it will be D. Next we have imagery, a spider's web hanging. It gives you a visual image of a spider's web is really covering the old door. So you have a kind of imagination and a visual of a spider's web hanging. Then we have epithet used here. You see in line number 3, it's written hinges are rusty. So it's a kind of an adjective used for hinges. What kind of hinges are there? Rusty. And then we have another figure of speech, alliteration. You see in line number 4, I have underlined lie and listen. Lie, listen. Okay? So they both have the same consonant sound. Lie, listen. Yes. Now move on to the next stanza. Same as stanza 1, we'll try to find out the rhyming words used in this stanza. So we read the last word of each line. Side, glass, me, pass, day. So if you notice that only glass and pass, their sounds are matching, but sides, me, day, their sounds are not matching with any one of them. So we can say the glass and pass are the rhyming words. So the same way we'll take out the rhyme scheme and we read the last word of each line and we name them. Side, name A, glass, name B, me, name C, pass, name B, and day, name D. So glass and pass named B because they have the same sound. Then we see the epithet used in line number 1. A dusty old window. So window is described here as a dusty and old window. Then In the next line, line number 2, you see 3 cracked panes. What kind of panes? Cracked. 3 cracked panes. So this is the use of epithet. Imagery. Line number 3, I often think there's someone staring at me. Means you visualize that when you are passing by somewhere and someone is looking at you, staring at you. It's a kind of giving you the imagination, the visuals of someone watching you. Then alliteration, the underlined words in line number 3, someone staring. So repetitive consonant sounds of s, someone staring. Okay? So children, I hope now you are able to find out the rhyming verse and rhyme scheme used in the stanza as we have already done in stanza 1 and 2. Let's read out the last word of each line. Shed, floorboards, inside, head, day. So if you notice, you'll find that shed and head, they both sound the same. It means we can say shed and head are the rhyming words. Now take out the rhyme scheme. Shed we name A, floorboards we name B, inside we name C, head we name A. Yes. Why? Because head also sounds the same as shed, and shed has already been named A. So head will be A and day will be D because it's not matching, or its sound is not matching with any one of the above words. So the rhyme scheme will be A, B, C, A, and D. Now check out the another figures of speech. Epithet. It's used in line number 2. The rotten floorboards means the floorboards are described as the rotten. The quality of the floorboards is the rotten, and we call it the rotten floorboards. So this is an example of epithet. Imagery. In line number 4, you see he'll jump out and chop off my head. Yeah, it gives you a kind of a visual that some kind of ghost will come out from the rotten floorboard and chop off the head of the boy. So it's kind of imagination. The visual is there in this line. Okay, let's move to the next one. So in the same way, we'll try to find out the rhyming words and rhyme scheme used in this stanza. This stanza carries 6 lines. But not just yet, last line is not included in the stanza. It's a separate line. So we'll try to find out the rhyming words used in the 6 lines. Ghost, den, noises, web, when, soon. So here you see den and when, they sound the same. So we can say they are the rhyming words. Den and when are the rhyming words. Now check out the rhyme scheme. Ghost we name A, den we name B, noises we name C, web we name D, when we name B, soon we name E. So now you understood that den and when are named same as B because they have the same sound. The next figure of speech used in this stanza is alliteration. In line number 3, just see the underlined words staring, strange. They both have the same consonant sound, s. staring, and strange. So these are all the figures of speech used in the stanzas, in all four stanzas, and I hope you understood it well. Thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you.